Okay. Ready? Okay, we are on The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. We're in I think we're still in chapter 9, but it's a long chapter. And we're on page 202.
What's the chapter called?
It's called Beyond Happiness and Unhappiness, There is Peace. And I'm pretty sure this is right. Yeah, we're one page away from chapter 10.
I knew we were getting close.
Oh. All right. So I'll just go back one paragraph from where we read. You may remember that we talked about the dual nature of true compassion, which is awareness of a common bond of shared mortality and immortality. And I'm going to put transcripts on. Yeah, that's better. Okay.
Can you read that again?
You may remember that we talked about the dual nature of true compassion, which is awareness of a common bond of shared mortality and immortality. So our compassion for others comes from our shared bond of being both immortal and mortal beings, which is weird to think about.
Yeah, especially the immoral. The moral
Of course, the immortal adds a layer.
and relating it to compassion. That's
So, can you have compassion if you're not aware of your immortality or your mortality? So a lot of people aren't even aware of their mortality.
a good way to put it.
Can compassion be real if you're not aware of the dual nature in the first place? The mortal that makes us separate and the immortal that connects us.
Which is interesting if you relate it to NDEs, where a lot of the people share that there's no judgment, but you still have to feel everything. You have to feel all the good things that you've done in life, and you have to feel all the bad things that you've done, or the feelings of others that you've hurt.
You have to actually.
So there's an eternal component to that, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm. I mean, based on what I've watched of NDEs, near-death experiences, is that everyone in them not only feels the feelings of the people whom they have been kind to and people who they have wounded either on purpose or even unknowingly. Not only do they feel it, they actually it's like they're embodied in that other person and they're feeling them as them. So it's not even empathy, it's actually they become the other person. And the idea is that we are the other person. We just don't know it until.
Right. There's that oneness again.
Yes, we don't know that we are them until we cross over. And then we experience their feelings and their humanity. We experience it. We don't just witness it. We actually become it. At least according to almost every NDE I've ever seen. Christian or non-Christian, spiritual or non-spiritual, atheists report the same experience.
I like how Ken Geyer, he calls it the eternal now, which means that everything we do and say, every action of our life has eternal significance. So throw in compassion into that mix, right? And that changes the whole ball game because now everything we do is going to be derived from this compassion, which affects now, that affects the immortal, eternal aspect.
That is also now that we're just unconscious of.
Yeah, right. But the ramifications of that compassion have eternal have significance now in the mortal, and then have significance forever in the infinite, which is the eternal, the immortal.
It's hard because time is just something we know. It's a construct. It's not. There is no past or future. It's all now,
Yeah.
which is hard to think about. At this deep level, compassion becomes healing in the widest sense. In that sense, your healing influence is primarily based not on doing, but on being. Your healing influence is primarily based not on doing, but on being.
And that's, I remember in seminary, we talked about the presence of healing where it's just your presence alone. It's not anything you say, it's not anything you do, but it's your presence, your being alone that brings
Healing.
healing to others. But being means what? It means being conscious and aware, right?
Well, and it's compassion again. It's realizing that you share both mortality and immortality.
Mhm.
It's recognizing your duality as a being and theirs at the same time.
Right. And that's why listening, just strictly listening, is a form of healing. You're not doing anything, you're not saying anything, you're just being. You're being open to receive and to hear. And that's healing. It's a lot of work too.
Everybody you come in contact with will be touched by your presence and affected by the peace that you emanate,
There's the presence right there. Yeah.
whether they are conscious of it or not.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And that's your soul again. Your soul is conscious of it, even if your mind is not conscious of it. And your soul feels the peace of it. When you are fully present and people around you manifest unconscious behavior, you won't feel the need to react to it, so you don't give it any reality. Your peace is so vast and deep that anything that is not peace appears into it. I'm sorry. Your peace is so vast and deep that anything that is not peace disappears into it as if it had never existed. This breaks the karmic cycle of action and reaction. And I don't know a lot about the karmic cycle. I haven't really studied that. I know just enough to be dangerous. But it's interesting how our ancient belief system matches up with the karmic belief system in a sense, right? Animals, trees, flowers will feel your peace and respond to it. We read this yesterday, didn't we? Animals, trees, flowers will feel your peace and respond to it. You teach through being, through demonstrating the peace of God. You become the light of the world. Yeah, we read this. An emanation of pure consciousness. And so you eliminate suffering on the level of cause. You eliminate unconsciousness from the world by being conscious.
Hmm.
You become the light of the world. An emanation of pure consciousness.
At work, I'll be in the teacher's lounge and people will come in and they'll start sharing things with me. And then they'll catch themselves as if like, oh, I I didn't mean to share that. Or, they what is Brene Brown?
Vulnerability
Yeah,
hangover.
it's like this vulnerability that all of a sudden comes out of them and they kind of surprise themselves a little bit. And I'm just sitting there listening, and I think that has and all of a sudden they become maybe a little bit conscious of their unconsciousness. But I think a lot of it has to do
You mean
with,
self-conscious?
yeah, self-conscious. But I think a lot of it has to do with me just being conscious.
Hmm. Or just listening.
Yeah.
I mean, really listening.
And they know, like this one person said, they said, you really listen. Because she'll say things and then I'll refer back to a conversation that we had a week ago or something.
Hmm.
But but I think that just our being creates a place of that provides openness and vulnerability, just because of the vibe, those vibes, the energy that we're giving off. That
That we're not even conscious of.
Yeah, until we become the watcher and start thinking about our thoughts.
Instead of being our thoughts.
And it's the ministry of being, the ministry of presence, ministry of being, and our consciousness helps to create that in others, the awakening in others. And lots of times they'll come to their own. It's funny because sometimes they'll come to their own answers or their own, they'll be puzzled about something. And then in that conversation, they're like, oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I guess, you know what I'm saying? They come to it
Hmm.
themselves. So you're kind of just providing a place, a safe place for them
To work through it.
to work through it
To
and
become
to think
conscious.
it through and to become conscious of it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. And that's healing.
And they walk away going, thanks, Dave, and I'm like, I didn't do
Right. That's the whole point. You
anything.
didn't do anything. That's the whole point. And
Yeah.
anyone can be that.
Yeah. Anybody. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone
Yeah.
can be that. It's
You
funny
don't
because
have to
it's
be a priest or anything.
no.
No.
In fact, that can interfere.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people feel safe with those roles, that maybe that can be the impetus, or it can be the opposite, that that's the thing that shuts them down. Anyone can be that. And
Hmm.
it's funny, it's not anyone can do that. It's anyone can be that because it's
Hmm.
part of our,
Hmm.
yeah, that's interesting. This doesn't mean that you may not also teach through doing. This doesn't mean that you may not, this doesn't mean that you may not also teach through doing, to read that right. For
Right.
example, by pointing out how to disidentify from the mind, recognize unconscious patterns within oneself, and so on.
Right. Teaching that.
But who you are, your being, is always a more vital teaching and a more powerful transformer of the world than what you say, and more essential even than what you do. We just said. Furthermore, to recognize the primacy of being and thus work on the level of cause does not exclude the possibility that your compassion may simultaneously manifest on the level of doing and of effect by alleviating suffering whenever you come across it. So, when a hungry person asks you for bread and you have some, you will give it. But as you give the bread, even though your interaction may only be very brief, what really matters is the moment of shared being, of which the bread is only a symbol. Boy, that's Eucharist stuff to talk about.
That's where my mind went just now. Yeah.
When you always talk about they didn't know who he was till he broke the bread, or till, is that right? Isn't that
Yeah. The road to Emmaus. And then, and then he was revealed to them, but it was in that breaking, it's in that doing, the breaking of the bread.
What was that? What really matters is this moment of shared being, of which the bread is only a symbol. A deep healing takes place within it. In that moment, there is no giver, no receiver. There is no service provider and no service recipient.
That's right.
But, oh,
Can you
and
mark
then,
that?
yeah.
Here, just go. Wow, that's good.
Okay, this is the italicized voice. But there shouldn't be any hunger and starvation in the first place. How can we create a better world without tackling evils such as hunger and violence first? Back to the narration. All evils are the effect of unconsciousness.
Mm. Wow.
That's really powerful.
Underline that. That's good.
I'm just going to put an arrow. All evils are the effect of unconsciousness. You can alleviate the effects of unconsciousness, but you cannot eliminate them unless you eliminate their cause. True change happens within, not without. It feels so contrary to the way it is in the world, you know? I mean, there is a place for doing, there's a place for, activism, but if there's not this internal consciousness, this thing within that knows we're all connected, all of that is like just empty noise. It doesn't have that true power of beingness in it that really is the thing that affects change. And if everybody went within, how powerful would that be? Just everyone went within themselves in their own private worlds, you know? How different would we see each other and have true compassion, knowing that we are both the mortal and the immortal, and realizing that when we hurt the other, we're actually hurting ourselves.
Which is why I get frustrated with all the rhetoric out there that, evil, there's so much evil. These people are evil, evil.
The
There's evil in the
othering,
world, evil.
like that movie we saw, the cave
And
movie.
just screaming in rage. And I, and I'm like, yeah. So what are you going to do about it?
Or what are you
So
gonna be about it?
what are you going to be about it?
Maybe that's the
How do you,
question we should be asking is who are you gonna be? Who are you already in this?
and if we can't, within our own sphere of influence, within our own lives, counteract this evil that we're screaming about, that's where, I mean, that's where it starts.
Well, think about
Starts,
all of our own internal conflict. I mean, just even how long it's taken us to read this book. I mean, even coming to the awareness that your ego and your mind is not your true being, that it's a form, it's not the essence. Like that's a discipline. That's not easily understood. And yet sometimes people get it in a second, like if they really have that moment, But
so it's your opportunity to be good, to be good, be loving,
or it's your opportunity to
be
remember,
kind,
it's your
be
opportunity
kind,
to remember that you're
be
good.
compassionate.
Remember that you're good. Remember that you're kind. Remember that you're compassionate. It's already your essence. It's really it's falling back into who you really are. It's not a conjuring. It's remembering in the truest sense of that word that you are the light. And so is he, and so is
Right.
she, and so is the guru mouse. They're all made of God. There's nothing that's been made that's not made of God, John says. We are the light of the world. We are the light of the world.
And
That's really weird to think about.
yeah, And it makes me think of Walter Brueggemann, who said, um, the one thing that all regimes, all totalitarian government, totalitarian
Totalitarian.
governments hate, despise, and have absolutely no tolerance for. It's weird because you would think, oh, it would be
Something powerful and
something
forceful.
powerful, but it's not. But it's compassion. The
Compassion
one
is the
thing,
threat.
compassion is the threat.
That's so weird to think about that in the context of what we're reading right now. The power of compassion. I mean, real compassion, but it requires the premise of knowing you're both mortal and immortal, and so are they.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
and that's where we miss it. We think we're being compassionate and we bestow the thing on the poor people, not realizing we are the poor people. And that's why the poor will always be with us, because we're all poor. If one is poor, we're all poor.
That's why all the people out there raging, they're like, so what are you gonna do, Dave? And I go, well, I'm gonna stick it to the man and I'm gonna be compassionate. And they look at me like I'm crazy, like, oh, that's ridiculous.
That's so impotent.
Yes.
Compassion is so powerless.
And I'm like, no, that's the one thing they hate and they will not tolerate. It's the threat. It's the very threat to their existence.
Well, that movie that we just watched, the cave movie, she was a threat because she was compassionate.
Yes.
The what
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
name of that movie? Cave.
Oh, I don't
I don't
know.
know. The Daryl Hannah movie that we just watched last night. Her compassion was the bigger threat.
Yeah, it was. Man, they were evil, weren't they? Those men, patriarchy.
Yeah, it was very patriarchy. If you feel called upon to alleviate suffering in the world, that is a very noble thing to do. But remember not to focus exclusively on the outer. Otherwise, otherwise you will encounter frustration and despair. Yeah, because you're not going to always be able to change the outer. Without a profound change in human consciousness, the world's suffering is a bottomless pit. So don't let your compassion become one-sided. Empathy with someone else's pain or lack and a desire to help need to be balanced with a deeper realization of the eternal nature of all life and the ultimate illusion of all pain. Wow.
It makes me think of the woman at the well who um, Jesus asked for water from, And how does that go where and he says, if you really knew what you were asking,
Oh, he talks about a water that will never, a well that will never run dry, or
yeah,
water where you'll never be thirsty again. And
yes,
she's like, where is this water? And he's pointing to the internal
yeah.
spring,
And
the
it's funny
internal.
because that's how I feel every time I feed the homeless or I feed the hungry. I'm always like, oh, here's some bread, but boy, I got some real bread. I got something, I shouldn't say I got something, but there's something that'll sustain you, per your physical body
Yeah,
and needs of
it's
the body. But boy, is there something so much greater
but
that
it
will,
really it is really it's really a we have something. If they only knew that we have something
yeah,
that will never run dry, and that light, that you're tapping into. The only difference between you and them is that you're aware that you have it right now in this moment. And they're not
right,
yet aware that they possess it, that they have it. It's kind of like what happened with George, where it was like now he realizes, oh, I possess this bottomless well. And you want to tell everybody, hey, did you know that I possess this bottomless well? And you possess this bottomless well, the spring within, and you want to make them aware of what they already have,
yeah,
which is really where the compassion comes in because we share it. It's not like I'm the service provider over here and I have it and you don't, and I'm going to bestow it upon you. That's where I think we get it wrong in institution, is we try to hoard up the light, we try to hoard up the spring instead of, hey, you have your own spring. You have your own light. You don't need me. I'm just showing you what I have, but you also have it, you know? It's weird to think about that. We don't corner
Yeah.
the market on it. We just,
The the Samaritans, they worship at that mountain.
right,
You know, the
right.
Jews worship over here at this
Make
mountain.
it all about form, 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 form.
And he's like, no, you have it in you. It's actually within
And
you.
you're looking out at the mountain, you're looking outside yourself when you have that well and that spring within you already.
Yeah.
And I think she felt it, which is why she went and ran and told her, like she, I don't even know that she understood it, but she felt that light in her. He woke that up in her. Don't you see? It's like the whole Lion King. Look deeper.
And all of that was initiated by what? Hey, can you give me some water?
Yeah, it starts with the external stuff.
Well, it's back to being,
Hmm.
and I'm saying, it's like, hey, can you give me a glass? Can you give me some water from the well? Wow, you wouldn't ask me if you knew who I was, and blah blah blah. But he was just being, once again, the ministry of the presence, just being.
Yeah, because he didn't really do anything for her.
No, he asked her.
She did something for him.
He didn't come to her and say, hey, I got something, man, that you really need. No, he says, hey, I need something. Can you give me some water?
I mean, and that's being in the purest sense,
Yeah,
being fully mortal and immortal. Because fully mortal, I need water to drink. And immortal, did you know there's more water within us? He was both and.
there's a spring, an eternal spring
Oh,
bubbling up inside of you.
all of
Oh,
us.
jeez,
Hmm.
it's there. You start drinking that stuff, you're set for life.
Okay, I'm going to finish this. So don't let your compassion become one-sided. Empathy with someone else's pain or lack and a desire to help need to be balanced with a deeper realization of the eternal nature of all life and the ultimate illusion of all pain. Then let your peace flow into whatever you do, and you'll be working on the levels of effect and cause simultaneously. This also applies if you are supporting a movement designed to stop deeply unconscious humans from destroying themselves, each other, and the planet, or from continuing to inflict dreadful suffering on the other sentient beings. Remember, just as you cannot fight the darkness, so you cannot fight unconsciousness. If you try to do so, the polar opposites will become strengthened and more deeply entrenched.
Oh,
You will become identified with one of the polarities. You will create an enemy and so be drawn into unconscious yourself.
underline that.
Raise awareness by disseminating information. Wow, I got to do this again. Raise awareness by disseminating information, or at the most, practice passive resistance. But make sure that you carry no resistance within. No hatred, no negativity. Love your enemies, said Jesus, which of course means have no enemies.
Mic drop.
Yeah. Once you get involved in working on the level of effect, it is all too easy to lose yourself in it. Stay alert and very, very present. The causal level needs to remain your primary focus. The teaching of enlightenment, your main purpose, and peace, your most precious gift to the world.
You become what you hate.
It's so funny because we weren't really skilled in this when all of this stuff came along politically. Like we hadn't read any of these books on the ego and form and presence. And yet we had a sense that that wasn't the answer.
Yes.
We knew, but we didn't really know. I don't think we really had a vocabulary for what that was yet. I think we just knew not to take sides.
Yeah.
But in a way, that was enough. Now I just understand it. It's not just us that this is a way of being. This is an older discipline than us. This is what all the wisdom teachers teach in every
Yeah.
faith, all the mystics,
Yeah.
whether
And
Sufi or
different
Christian
religions.
or Buddhist, it's all that
The
passive
core,
resistance that
the core principles of other religions, especially the religions of the East, teaching the same things.
but we know that as Christ in our tradition, right? Following the way of Christ, but it exists everywhere. That wisdom exists.
Yeah.
Regardless if you name it Christ, Sufism, Buddhism, it is the light that is in all beings.
Yeah.
If we tap into it, there's no one that's cornered the market on this.
Yeah.
There's just
And
people that have gathered and organized around the understanding of it. And,
and no religion is immune from from all those temptations of
brick and mortar.
othering,
Yes. Tribalism,
feeling superior to other people,
becoming fear
having to put
driven.
people down to make yourself feel
Right.
better. All of those temptations,
Well, I mean, toxic
they're not immune.
fundamentalism.
They're not immune. Yeah, that's what it is.
Toxic fundamentalism exists
Everywhere where you have
even in the
Hindus,
the woke
Muslims killing
liberal
each other.
world. Is woke liberal has toxic fundamentalism. All the religions have toxic fundamentalism.
ISIS, you have these extremes where they drifted away because of the temptation, the temptation
Either they drifted away or they only ever knew it as tribalism,
or beliefs.
right? It's like, well, this is what my culture believes and I believe it. It's not been this inner well that they've tapped into. It's been, this is what my culture, this is how we gather around tribe and fire. This is what we do. But there's no internal awareness until they reach the mystic stage of whatever that religion is. And then they have to pull away, or they're seen as pulling away, but they're really pulling within.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Exclamation point.
And on that note,
Well, I'm good. That's enough to keep me thinking for a while. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it is. Namaste.
Namaste.
All right.